Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with, I believe this is Roxicology number 20. Got a lot of letters. It's so funny. I'm at the end of the month, and now all of a sudden I got all these letters. So I'm going to read through as many as I can today. So this might be a long video, but we going to do it. So let's get to it, shall we? Hey Rox, I'm 25-year-old wife and mom to a 4-year-old boy and 20-month-old twins. I just have a quick question about my 4-year-old son. He just started pre-K and he's in a special program for kids with speech delays, which he does have. Around our home and at school, he throws the worst tantrums. He falls on the floor yelling and screaming when he doesn't get his way or if his younger twin siblings takes his toys. I just wanted to know if you had any advice on how to deal with tantrums and these outbursts. We put him in timeout, and sometimes when he's too tough with his siblings, we pop him. Thanks so much. This was going to be fast because, just because he has a speech issue, a speech delay doesn't mean that there is anything really wrong with him. He's 4 years old. My son, Joe, cried all the time at 4 years old. All the time. Every time you turned around, we were just like, what is wrong with you now? He was a crybaby. It just seemed like it came out of nowhere. Everybody always talked about the terrible twos, the terrible threes, and he didn't have that. So when we got to 4 years old, all of a sudden, any little thing. He didn't get his way, if he didn't understand something, if he was tired, if he was, it just never seemed to end. And I think it's just the age. 4 years old is an age where, especially when he has he has younger siblings. Joe had Jada, and Jada was, Jada didn't do any of that ever. Okay, even really to this day, she's not really a super emotional person, and Joseph is. He still is. So he even showed out a little bit more because of Jada. It's just like it's sort of jealousy issues, not really issues. It's just normal for kids that age. He's trying to, he's about to turn into this. It's not toddler anymore. He's not really quite, 5, 6, 7. He's not really a baby no more. He's just kind of in this middle, and I just imagine that it's a transition for these kids. They just be crazy. I think you guys are doing all the right things. Try to talk to them, put them in timeout. That don't work, then you pop them. I think that's all what any normal parent can do for a 4-year-old. One of the things that used to kind of help with Joe when he would go through those issues is that I would try to give him things that made him feel like he was a big boy. When I could tell that he was about to get into this mode where he was about to have one of his fits, I would be like, wait a minute, how about you help mommy do such and such? I would try to give him tasks, or if he was getting frustrated because Jada was taking his toy or something like that, I would try to get him to maybe show her how the toy works, or, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. But I know that because it's like this transition of them being from this baby to just being this kid, I was trying to usher in letting him feel like he was going to be a big boy. I would say, big boys don't cry all the time, Joseph. And, how about you, you're a big boy, right? How about you help mommy do, it could be, I would find anything, child. He could be screaming and fussing about something that just went off the TV that he was mad about. It just went off the TV. And, I would have him come in the kitchen and say, hey, you want to help mommy do such and such? You want to help mommy stack those sodas in the refrigerator? Or you want to help mommy do this? Help me in the pan. Just anything. And because I was trying to divert his attention somewhere else. And that did used to help sometimes. So maybe that's an idea. And if anybody else has any other suggestions, y'all leave it below. But yeah, 4 years old, temper tantrums, crying, carrying on all the time. Yeah, that's pretty much regular. Okay, it's gonna be all right. He's gonna grow out of it, girl. I was raised by a single mother, and she is a very strong and individual. I have a loving relationship with my father, so there's no real daddy issues. However, I take after my mom's very independent nature, and I think it's hindering my dating prospects. I haven't had a real connection with a male since sophomore, junior year of high school, and now I'm a junior in college. It didn't normally bother me, but now with all my friends getting married and having serious relationships, I feel like my independence intimidates men away, and now I'm beginning to feel lonely. Is there any way you can offer some tips on how to be a little less scary? Should I keep on keeping on? This is a good letter because I see it happening a lot. Women today, because, for whatever reasons, whatever circumstances that we might find ourselves in, we have had to, we've had to kind of take on both roles, both the male and the female role in the household. Maybe the man is not there. Maybe the man is not necessarily up to, it's a lot of men that are not quite, don't take on the the regular role in the man of the household. Okay, so there's a lot of women today who have found themselves having to become, extra strong, extra independent. They taking out trash and changing light bulbs and fixing shit around the house, and as well as being the mother and washing clothes and cooking dinner, and women have to do it all a lot. So I can see where there would be some hesitation with some men who are trying to pursue a woman who's always been in this mode of I can do it myself. How to be a little less scary. We as women, a lot of times we so ready to shout out all that we can do, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but this is always a real touchy thing because, see, I don't want it to seem like women should just be, taking the back seat to men. But I feel like women ought to allow a man to be a man, okay? If they are willing to take that role in their lives, then the woman should kind of step back and let the man be the man. So that means that when you first meet a guy or you guys are beginning to date, you ain't got to tell him all that you do and what you don't need, and there's just a way that you can be where and a man can still see a woman's independence. Okay, you have your own your own job, your own place, your own car. Okay, you go out, you do what you like, you take care of your business. Men can see that already, so they already know that you're this independent, strong woman. Okay, it still doesn't mean that you don't necessarily need a man in your life. I always feel like I always need a man in my life. Okay, if it ain't for monetary reasons or sexual reasons, it's just for the companionship. I like being with somebody. I think it's natural, usually, because I got another letter that I'm going to read this a little later. But I think that it's natural that a man and a woman should, connect and be together. I think that the partnership, to me, is important. So, you can still be who you are without having to declare it, without having to be so over the top, and letting the man lead and letting the man be there. I'm telling you, when you become a partner with somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have no say. Okay, even in relationships, marriages, and everything, like I feel like I try because it can be difficult, but I try to let my husband. We try to have a talk about it and decide on things together, but I try to. Unless I feel super strongly about something, I try to let him make the decisions of what, to lead this family. And a lot of times your input will change their feelings. Okay, so, it's all in this whole little give and take in relationships, but yeah, I think that a lot of the problem, because I have a couple of girlfriends, one of my really best girlfriends is single, and she's very, very independent and very, very, very strong, okay, and is very opinionated, and, she wants it to be her way or no way and all of that, and I always just say, you just kind of, you just have to back off a little bit, okay, just back off a little bit, just relax some. You can't control everything. You can't tell, and no man wants to be told. Nobody wants to be told what to do, man or woman. Grown persons don't want to be told what to do. So, I think that is just something that you're going to have to find within yourself. Try to realize, where you think you can have some fine tuning where you don't have to just come across so maybe aggressive. Okay, like I said, people can tell when you're independent. People can see it, so you don't have to always be forcing that, forcing that view or opinion of you on anybody else. Now, certain things are just not going to go away. You're always probably going to be a dominant person, but I think that if you can just kind of know within yourself where you need to kind of loosen up a little bit and backing off a little bit, then you should probably be okay. I say keep on keeping on. There's men out there that really, really like very strong, independent women. So it ain't like, but yeah. Let's just soften it up a little teeny tiny bit, okay? Alright, you guys, this is an interesting letter I was telling you about. So, hi, Rox. I am 28 years old and I have decided to stay single for life. Everyone around me has been on my back about dating, getting married, and having children. All of my friends are married, have children, and are in relationships. I do not want to get married or have children because I do not believe in love, and I never seen myself as being a mother. I feel that I am selfish, so why bring a child into this crazy world? I often get asked if I am a lesbian. I don't like women in that way. I like the way my life is, and I enjoy going places by myself and doing things alone. When I was dating 8 years ago, I was treated so bad and went through a lot of bullshit, so I stay away. How can I get their asses off my back? So yeah, y'all, that's interesting, right? To me, that's an interesting statement. You're 28 years old right now. If you decided that you don't want to be with anybody, then that's fine. You don't have to be with anybody. As you get older, thoughts change. Okay, situations change. You may change your mind, and that's fine too. To just say that you're going to be single for life when you just don't really know what the future holds for you. I just think that in, situations like this, you just live your life day by day. I have friends that have said, I have a friend in LA who says a lot of these same things. I mean, she does date, but she knows she's not going to get married. She definitely is not going to have kids. And she says the same thing. She's selfish. She wants everything for herself, all of that. I mean, it's something that I don't understand. So it's just not, because I myself believe in partnerships. I like being with somebody, and I believe in family and, all of that. So, but I mean, it's fine if that's what you don't want to do. But see, to me, it kind of feels like you are really a person that was really hurt in the past and are afraid of getting in a relationship for something like that to happen to you again. So you've made yourself think or believe that, you don't believe in love and you don't want to do it again. I just kind of feel like, there's more to it. Like maybe, I don't even know if you're going to take the advice of maybe you need to go talk to a therapist or, somebody about really why is it that this one relationship that you were in 8 years ago fucked you up so much. And I'm not saying fucked you up, but really just kind of swore you off relationships, I mean, forever. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is everybody has been hurt and, bad things have happened. I've had some horrible things happen in past relationships. But I've been able to take the chance and step out and move on and, fall in love and do all of that all over again. So it's interesting that you've decided that after that one time that you're just not going to do it anymore. To me, it sounds like you are afraid of the relationship. And then as you get older, when you get old, okay, and you're by yourself, you got to start thinking, you're going to have to, when you start getting to the 40s and 50s and 60s, it's time to start, thinking about, like, you don't have nobody there for you. Your friends are going to be older and married and their kids and all of that. You're not going to have nobody to help you, nobody to come around, holidays. Yeah, it's going to be a lonely time. And so that's why I'm saying you may actually change your mind. But, a lot of these things that don't seem like a big deal when you're 28. When you're 55, it's gonna change a little bit. So, you know, I think that if you want these people to get off your back, you just say, that's the decision I made, and yeah, it's fine. You don't have to keep on trying to convince everybody. But you know, I'm kind of like everybody else. Like, maybe we need to be a little bit more truthful with ourselves of why we don't want to do it. And maybe if you can get through the why and get over that, you know, then you can maybe take the chance of at least dating somebody. And because I just feel like everybody needs love. Everybody. And if you don't believe in love, then it's, what do you live in life? Like, what is your life if you don't have love in your life? Or you just, yeah, I myself don't understand that whole concept. So maybe somebody else out there who knows better, y'all could let her know. But yeah, I think that you got a little bit more going on than you're ready to admit. Hey Roxanne, I am 18 and have been openly gay since 16. My family knows that I am gay, but they constantly make shady comments like asking when I'm going to get a girlfriend or asking what kind of women I like. I find it very disrespectful when they do that. I want them to respect my sexuality and lifestyle choices. Roxy, what should I do? Because I'm close to going off on someone and I don't want to do that. Yeah, well, you know, you might have to go off on somebody. Okay, you know, I think what it sounds like here is that, you know, nobody is really taking you seriously because you're young. You're 16, then you're 18, and, you know, you came out when you were 16, and now you're 18, and, you know, they probably are looking at you like, oh, he's just going through this, whatever this stage is that he's going through. So they're not really respectful of what you're saying because they don't believe you, even though you're openly gay. It sounds like they kind of feel like either it's a phase that you're going through, or they're just trying to be rude to you because they don't like the fact that you're gay. And they know that when they say these type of things to you that, you know, that it's hurtful or it upsets you or, you know, whatever. So, I mean, if you're really serious about this and you know that that's what you are, you might have to go off on somebody. You just might have to kind of assert yourself. And I'm not saying that you got to be cussing folks out and acting a complete fool with everybody, but, you know, you're going to have to put a few people in their place to let them know that you're serious. And then, you know, you just go on with your life and live your life and they will see. Okay, after some years, okay, and they see that you 25 and you still gay, and then you 27 and you still gay, and you 30 and you gay, you know what, guess what? They just going to have to respect that that's what it is. I am a young black gay man. I plan on telling my family sometime next year. I do not think they'll be very accepting. As a result, I've detached myself from my family. I've only kept in regular contact with my mom for the past 3 years. I've been at college. I go months at a time without speaking to my sisters, my grandparents, etc., as a means to mentally prepare myself for how they'll treat me when they find out. I also have a baby nephew I'm afraid I will be kept away from once I come out. Is it wrong to expect the worst of the worst to cushion the blow? Yeah, I think it's wrong to expect the worst of the worst. You know, you ain't even gave the people a chance to either, you know, like it or not like it. You just already wrote everybody off before anybody ever knows. I think that it is a defense mechanism, which, I mean, I understand. You know, people that come out of the closet a lot of times are not accepted. You know, the family doesn't accept it. They write them off and all that. So I know that the fear is there that you will lose, you know, the support of your family and the love of your family. But I don't know if I feel like it's fair for you to already do it before they even know anything. And they might already know. You know, a lot of times families, they kind of have an idea that somebody is gay, and you know, they just kind of waiting for you to say something. Even if they don't know, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that is fair. Now, maybe your family is already kind of very judgmental and very opinionated, and you kind of already have an idea how they will react. But a lot, you know, I think that sometimes you'll be surprised how these things come out. I just will never forget, there was this girl at my job. She doesn't work there anymore, but you know, everybody knew that she was gay. She was the I can't never, y'all, I don't want to say, oh, what's the right word that I'm supposed to say for the man, the woman that's like the more masculine one? What is it, y'all? She was the stud. She was the stud. She dressed pretty much like a guy. She wore men's cologne. And she was not really all that feminine. So we all knew that she was gay. But nobody ever said anything to her about it because it's her business and her life, and we work with her, and who cares, basically. But we all knew, and one day she decided that she was going. Now we had been working with her for like 3 years, and then she just decided she was going to come on out the closet and come telling everybody that she's gay and that this is her girlfriend. I was like, girl, everybody been knowing that. You felt like you had to do a damn announcement about it? I mean, I guess she wanted to be able to, openly talk about her girlfriend, because before then, when we all would be talking about our husbands or wives or whatever, she just would never really participate in that conversation. So maybe she just wanted to be able to talk about her relationship as well. But yeah, we was all like, yeah, we knew that from day one. As a matter of fact, they used to get her confused with another guy that worked in our office from behind. They look exactly alike. So yeah, it was just like, yeah, we knew that. And not saying that your family will or won't know, but I was just trying to give that example of, we were just like, and I might be a little different with family. So I'm not naive to that. But yeah, I think that you're just really trying to protect your own self. So you've kind of unfairly cut off your family when they haven't really done anything and you haven't even given them a chance. So yeah, don't be that way. Now, if you gonna go on and tell them, then go on and tell them, okay, and let them be whichever way they're gonna be, and then you act accordingly. Okay, then you react the way you need to. But to do it ahead of time, yeah, I don't think it's fair. Briefly, my mother is 54, I'm 38, my daughters are 23 and 21. Do you see the pattern? I've preached and prayed all their lives about breaking this pattern. They are good girls who work and are in college, and I'm a very proud mother. My issue is my 21-year-old has a boyfriend and she spends the night at his house. She's of age, and I've made sure she's educated about being safe, but I still feel anxious about this. She calls me Smother Mother, and I have to admit that I am. I was not raised by my mother, and maybe I've overcompensated by keeping my girls really close. Any tips on how to get over this anxiety? I totally understand why you would feel that way. But it sounds like that you have really just kind of pounded it into these girls' heads that, you do not want them to be early mothers. Now, it sounds like that they made it much further than you have anyway, that you had anyway without getting pregnant. They're 23, they're 21 years old. I mean, if I'm doing the math, it looks like you had your first one when you were 14, 15 years old. So, they're 23, they're 21. If they were to get pregnant right now, I'm not saying that they are, but if they were, at least they are adults, okay? But it sounds like that you have really tried to instill that value in them that, I don't want you to get married. I don't want you to get pregnant, before you get married. I want you to wait until you're older and, things like that. Ain't nothing really else you can do about it, but just continue to let them know that and just pray that they don't. Okay, but like I said, 23 and 21, they've already made it further than you. 38, your mom, she was 18? No, she was 16. Yeah, she was 16 years old when she had you, I believe. So it already sounds like the girls have, they've done pretty good thus far. But yeah, you can't keep worrying yourself because they're adults now. And, you've done your job. Okay, you got them to 21 without having no damn babies. Okay, but it's funny because like I always say, like, God, I be preaching to the kids and y'all, every day y'all don't pick up nothing, you don't do this, you don't do that, and I just be like, oh my God, when they move out of my house and be on their own, okay, they're gonna be a fucking mess. The kitchens and bathrooms and your bedrooms gonna be a mess. They ain't gonna be able to take care of themselves. And one of my girlfriends was telling me how her son, now that he's in college, she was just like, all the things that, I used to fuss at him about, he's, he does it now that he's on his own, even though he didn't do it at home, because he remembered. Like, it's sort of like, you doing all this fussing and shit, even though they ain't listening at the time, it's still ingrained in their mind, okay? And it's in there. It's like you just keep on repeating it. And then they hear your voice when they're away from you. And that might be what your daughters are doing, 23 and 21. Yeah, they're going to be okay. You're going to have to relax a little bit, okay? Because even if they do get pregnant now, ain't nothing else you can do about it. The one that's spending the night out a lot with the boyfriend, well, you already know, you know, what probably is going on there. Just keep on reiterating that you do not want a baby right now. You should live your life. You should have fun. You guys know that is always what I say. You should live your life. I had a great time in the 20s. I've said it a million times. And a baby would stop all that. So you just have to you just have to let them know that. Just keep telling them, relax though, girl. You've done good. You've done all right. I've been with this guy for 6 years. We have a 3-year-old daughter together. We have our ups and downs like any other relationship. But our biggest problem is over his friend that's a girl. They've been friends before we even met. But the thing is, I think they have feelings for each other. He compares me to her. They talk more than we do. He sends her naked pictures and sees each other behind my back. And he doesn't seem to see the problem. What really got me to end things is when she went to see him late at night when I needed him the most. He says it's just a talk, but I know it's not true. And even after breaking up, it seems like he still gives her more attention. And any advice on how to get over him, what do I do? Because anytime he talks to me, I would cuss him out. This is some fool of fucking nigga. Yeah, well, you already know. Okay, it sounds like if he's not having a physical relationship with this girl, there's definitely an emotional relationship that's going on there. When you are, you know, emotional relationships to me are worse because I don't want just the body. I want the person that's with me to their mind to be with me as well, okay? I can get body anywhere. I can fuck anybody I want. I can do, you know, we can do that. So it's not like, you know, physical part is not as bad, but the emotional part is where the problem is here. He's with her, he's talking to her all the time. Why don't you just be with her? That seems to be the person that you want to be with, and why don't you just be with her? Sending her naked photos? Who does that? I have male friends. I'm not sending them naked pictures of me. So, yeah, this relationship is, you know, and then for him to not respect the fact that you're uncomfortable with it and keep it going or doing it behind your back. Well, if he's doing it behind your back, then there's more to it than it. He's hiding something from you. He should respect you enough, okay? Even if I'm not doing anything, if my husband says, you know, I don't want you to, I don't feel comfortable with, you know, you doing this, that, and the other. Well, it's my job to try to get him to understand what it is. And then if it's that big of a goddamn problem, then you know what, then I just won't do it, okay? Because it's not worth all the fight. Now, if it was a friend of mine that I had for a long time before my husband and everything, well, you know, I would have made the friendship with him you know, my husband would need to understand that friendship, but you know, there's still boundaries in friendships, you know. And then when I get my husband, you know, I can't do certain things that I even used to do with my male friends back in the day when I was single and, you know, just hanging and having a good time. You know, it's boundaries, it's respect, okay? It's taking into consideration what your partner wants. It's all these things. Yeah, this situation here sounds like is definitely something going on. Okay, she is more important to you. Okay, he's your baby daddy right now, so yeah, you're gonna have to deal with him. Okay, you still got some anger with him because of the way he is with you compared to her. It's gonna be some bullshit for a while. Now, if you're asking how to get over him, you just gonna have to just get over it. It's just gonna have to be a process that you go through. You're gonna have to stop. I don't know if you guys are still sleeping together or you guys have a physical relationship like that, but all of that needs to stop. He got it good, okay? He got whatever he got with you, and then he got all this other what he got with that other one. I would say cut everything. Let him be with that child, okay? It's gonna be hard. You're gonna be mad. It's fucked up that you guys have this baby. Not that the baby is the fucked up thing, but I'm saying it's bad that you guys have a baby, so that keeps you guys having to be in contact with each other, which will always make shit harder. But, yeah, you're going to have to, I would say, just really cut it other than his daddy duties, and that is it. If that's what you want, if you're trying to get over it, that's my advice. Cut it all. Let him be with that other one and do all of the rest, and don't even worry yourself about it no more. I love your show. Here is my issue. I'm a 32-year-old mother of 3 fighting an addiction to pain pills. I've been going through this for about 3 years now, and I just can't shake it. I try to motivate myself with the fear of losing it all, but I'll do okay for like a week, then right back at it. I don't assume you have firsthand knowledge of this, but maybe you know someone who went through it and can share a story and give me whatever advice you have. I'm scared that this addiction will take over my life as it has my parents. I'm holding on, but for how long, I'm not sure. Sometimes my mind wanders towards the unthinkable, but I put that behind me as much as I can. I'm sad about that. I'm sad about it. Addictions. Yeah, I don't have any firsthand knowledge of drug addiction, but I do know about alcohol addiction. And to see somebody that suffers from, I know there's a lot of alcohol addiction in my family. So to see somebody suffer from an addiction when they are otherwise a great person is just sad, and it's just hurtful. If you're addicted to pain pills, you already know what I'm going to tell you. You need to get into a program to get you unaddicted. Okay, I don't even know if that's the right term, but you need professional help. There's absolutely no way. People cannot get off of drugs by themselves. It's been proven, tried, and proven a million times. The chemical need for these things in your body has to be done. Now, I've heard of people doing it on their own. Don't get me wrong. Let me back up. I've heard of people getting off of drugs on their own. But more times than not, okay, you need the help. It probably ain't going to end well if you haven't been able to do it. I mean, you know already that you have not been able to do it. It sounds like you want to stop. And usually addictions, you can't be forced into stopping something. It has to be something that the person wants. So it sounds like, you're afraid enough, and you know that you need to stop and that you want to stop. So now I think the next step is really trying to get into some kind of program. At this point, you can't worry about people knowing. You can't worry about, what'll happen with your kids. No, I won't say that. You definitely have to worry about what happened with your kids. But what I say is you get somebody to take care of them kids, and you get yourself together. Because if you're not together, then your kids is, shit is going to fall apart eventually. I don't know how old your kids are, but kids see. Okay, my dad was a drinker, and I saw that growing up. So and I love my dad. He's a great person. And but we had some times when we was growing up when I would see my dad see like that, and so I knew what was going on. My brothers, maybe even more so than my brothers, because they were older, but I was always under my mom. So I saw more, I think, than they did. Kids are not stupid, and they see it, and if nothing finally happens, if something doesn't happen to end all of this. Like my dad had something that happened that really had to get him together and end all of that. Something just has to happen for you to get it back right. And this something has to, in your case, will be rehabilitation. Okay, talk with somebody in your family that will take care of your children, and then you go off and take care of yourself, because you're not going to be no good to nobody. You're going to end up losing them kids. You're going to end up losing it all. 32 years old, you're still young. That's not old. And it's still time enough for you to get things together. But yeah, it is not going to end well for you if you don't do something about it. I really, really, really hope that you make that decision to get the help, because I can't tell you anything other than that. You most likely are not going to be able to do it on your own. But good luck to you. Really look into it. Look into getting some help. I have been with my live-in boyfriend for about 8 years. I am currently 5 months pregnant. This was pretty devastating because we are not married, and it was an unplanned pregnancy. I have always been that career-focused female, 32 years old, own my own home and car, and great federal government job, with no plans of a child or children. So yes, I've been thrown for a loop. May of 2014, my boyfriend went to jail for 3 months. During this time, I was supportive to him, but truly contemplating leaving him upon his release. Stupidly, I stopped my birth control in May with the mindset that I would not be engaged in sexual intercourse with anyone. My boyfriend came home in July, and I got pregnant immediately. He is facing up to 25 years in prison. We are awaiting his trial with 3 possible outcomes: no jail time, 25 years in prison, or maybe 10 years or less. What advice do you have for me as a soon-to-be single mother? Do I tell my child, and when? Do I take my child to visit his or her father in prison? That's a lot. Okay, what do they say about your best laid plans? Okay, if you want to make God laugh, and tell him your plans. Seems like you had it all set out, and then I don't really know what happened with your boyfriend. I don't know what he did, but he done got himself in trouble, got legal problems, and I think now you are starting to see that, this great life that you had is all set up for you. It can still happen for sure, but it's a couple of bumps in the road. Okay. Sounds like when when your boyfriend went out for them 3 months, you was able to kind of already make the decision that you wasn't going to be with him anymore. You have a lot going for you. Your boyfriend, like I said, I don't know what he did. It could have just been a mistake. Made some bad decisions or whatever. But we have to pay for the bad decisions that we make. Not saying that he's a bad person or anything like that, but you about to throw your whole life off with whatever goes on with your boyfriend now. It sounds like you think that he is definitely going to be doing some jail time. The 3 possible outcomes you came were so sparsely different. But it sounds like you think that he's going to be in there. And now you got to make plans for, you being by yourself. Well, women, they single mamas, that ain't, I'm not saying it's not nothing, but it ain't nothing that a whole bunch of other women haven't done before, so it's nothing that you can't do as well. You make a good job, you have a good job, and sounds like you make good money, and, so that thing, you just dig your heels in, okay? It ain't no time to be feeling sorry for ourselves. You just dig your heels in, you're gonna be a single mother. The whole thing about taking a baby to the jail, and, yeah. You definitely can't lie to your kids. There's age-appropriate times when you tell your kids certain things. I don't really know what the age-appropriate time would be, but you could read up on that type of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't hide that from my child. I don't know if I would tell them, when they little and can't understand, but I wouldn't hide that from them at all. As far as taking them to the prison, that's going to be something that you're going to have to decide on your own. Like, if my husband were in jail, I would never want I don't even think that he would want me to bring the kids there, but, and I'm talking about when my kids were smaller and they wouldn't have a choice, I would, I probably would take them. But as they got older, my kids are able to make their own decisions, then it would be something a little bit differently. But honestly, I don't even believe that my husband would want my kids to see him in jail. He would just be like, don't bring him up here. Okay, so that's going to be something that you guys are going to have a truthful talk about. You're going to have to talk to him about a lot of that. Okay, he probably doesn't know that you're making plans to maybe just kind of cut this whole thing off. But as far as the child is concerned, yeah, you guys probably need to discuss, where do we go from here? But yeah, it sounds like you've already made the decision that you're not going to, you saying that, you kind of feel like you don't want to know. It sounds like you're already there. You said that you're going to be a single mother. And I know that you mean that because in proximity, he's going to be in jail and you're going to be wherever you're going to be. But I think even mentally, you've already prepared that you guys are not going to be together anymore. So that's too bad. But, a baby is, even though, it wasn't planned, it's not like your life can go on and it's just we just got to make a turn. Instead of going this direction, we going to go that direction. But, we still heading forward. So, yeah, it's going to be all right, girl. I hate that all that happened, though. Alright, you guys, that's it. Y'all know what it is, right? It's Nonstop November. I almost forgot to put that in the video. Gotta make sure it's in there, okay? Y'all gonna be sick of Nonstop November. But yeah, that's it. Don't send me any more letters. Don't send no more. Because I think I'm gonna try to do maybe 1 or 2 more Roxicology videos. And then, yeah, so don't send any more letters. I got too many. Too many. I know a lot of people probably going to be upset that I didn't get to their letters. I'm sorry, but yeah, don't send no more though. And that is it. You guys remember to rate. What was that big old shadow? Did y'all see that? It was like a big, everything went dark for a second there. Anyway, you guys remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright? Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.